Hello there. Welcome to another drifting moment. Tonight, we are going to take a long, quiet journey into the world of a creature that lives alongside us every day, yet hides secrets deeper than we ever imagined. Tonight, we are going to talk about the crow, a humble, dark-feathered wanderer of the trees and skies, a bird that remembers almost everything. Tonight, we'll be discovering the quiet, unseen landscapes of avian memory. Despite what you might see when you look up at a high telephone wire or the branch of an old, swaying oak tree, not all living things perceive time the way we do, and some creatures, like the crow, possess a mind so subtle, so deep, and so remarkably sharp that it seems to bend our understanding of nature. Most birds flutter past us like momentary shadows, soft little points of movement against the pale grey clouds. But as we explore the world of corvids more deeply, a fascinating mystery begins to emerge, a quiet truth unfolding in the cool breeze of the morning. If you enjoy these gentle journeys, I invite you to like, subscribe, or share a soft thought below. It helps others find their way here too, one sleepy soul at a time. But for now, all you need to do is relax. Let your body soften and allow your eyes to grow heavy. Let your thoughts wander quietly into the canopy of ancient trees as we explore the remarkable, lingering memory of these dark-feathered watchers together. Let's begin. There are minds watching from the branches above, minds that notice every line on a human face, every gesture of a hand, every quiet routine of an afternoon. Out there, in the quiet edges of our cities, in the calm clearings of deep forests, and along the silent stretches of winding country roads, there are creatures that do not forget. Some places where crows gather become living archives of history, places where stories are handed down from generation to generation, held safely within the dark, glossy feathers of a roost that has gathered in the exact same spot for over 100 years. You might imagine a chilly autumn evening as the sun dips far below the horizon, turning the sky a deep, bruised violet. The wind rustles through dry leaves, making a soft, rhythmic sound like falling water. High above, suspended against the dimming light, a solitary crow sits perfectly still. Its dark eyes are calm, steady, and watchful. It is not merely searching for food, nor is it waiting for the darkness to settle. It is observing. It is taking note of the world beneath it, storing away memories of the faces that walk below, the hands that drop crumbs, and the quiet spaces where danger might lurk. It is almost as if the crow lives in two worlds at once: the world of the physical sky, full of wind currents and gentle thermal drifts, and a vast, invisible world of memory, where every face, every threat, and every act of kindness is preserved indefinitely. How remarkable it is to think that a brain no larger than a single walnut can hold decades of lived experience. It invites us to reflect on the nature of mind itself, to realize that intelligence is not a distant peak reserved only for human thought, but a wide, gentle ocean that flows through many different vessels across our planet. Science often seeks to measure, to quantify, and to categorize. But when we sit quietly beneath a tree and look up into the knowing gaze of a bird, we are reminded of the sheer wonder of life's varied tapestry. So, wherever you are right now, allow yourself to settle in deeper. Let your shoulders drop away from your ears, releasing any small tension you might be holding from the day. Feel the weight of your body resting comfortably, supported completely by the surface beneath you. Take a slow, gentle breath in, feeling your chest softly rise, and then let it release, smoothly and quietly, like a gentle wave returning to the sea. Let the noise of the day fade into the background, like footsteps fading down a long, carpeted hallway. The world outside can wait. The tasks, the worries, the endless lists, all of them can simply soften and disappear into the evening mist. But for now, all you need to do is relax and allow your mind to drift back into the quiet canopy of the trees as we open the first chapter of our peaceful story. If you were to walk down a quiet suburban street on a cool, damp morning, you might hear the soft, rhythmic rustle of wings high above you. You might glance up for a second, seeing only the silhouette of a bird perched upon a wooden fence or a street light, framed by the pale, soft light of early morning. To most people passing by, it is just a crow, a familiar, almost invisible part of the daily background. But if you were to pause, to stand still in the cool morning air and look a little closer, you would see that the bird is looking back. Crows do not merely glance at the world, they study it. Their dark, iridescent feathers catch the light in subtle shades of deep blue, violet, and obsidian, shimmering gently with every slow turn of their head. Their eyes, dark and glossy, possess a clarity that is both steady and profound. For a long time, human beings assumed that birds lived entirely in the present moment, driven purely by simple instincts, reacting only to hunger, fear, or the changing of the seasons. We believed that the mind of a bird was brief, light, and fleeting, like a dry leaf caught in a draft. But slowly, through quiet observation and patient science, a completely different truth began to reveal itself, a truth that gently reshaped how we view our feathered neighbors. It turns out that crows possess an extraordinary capacity for facial recognition. When a crow looks at you, it does not see a generic human shape. It does not see a vague outline walking past. It sees the precise arrangement of your eyes, the shape of your jaw, the cadence of your walk, and the unique contours of your face. In a famous series of gentle scientific observations conducted in quiet university courtyards, researchers set out to discover just how well these birds could remember individual human beings. The researchers wore distinct, unusual masks while walking through parks where wild crows lived. To test the birds' reactions without causing harm, some masked individuals would carry a soft net, briefly scolding or frightening the birds, while other individuals wearing completely different masks would walk past peacefully, offering seeds or nuts. What happened next was truly astonishing. Months passed, then years. The researchers returned to the same quiet parkland, walking along the same leaf-strewn paths. This time, however, they wore the masks while dressed in completely different clothes, walking with different strides, and accompanied by different people. Yet, the moment the mask that was associated with danger appeared beneath the trees, the crows high up in the branches immediately recognized it. They did not react to the person's height, or their clothing, or their voice. They reacted specifically to the face. The birds would lean forward on their branches, tilt their heads softly, and sound a clear, rhythmic call, warning every other crow in the vicinity that a familiar face had returned. Meanwhile, when the peaceful mask appeared, the face that had brought warmth and food years prior, the crows remained calm, watching serenely from their high perches, sometimes descending gently to the grass to collect a waiting gift. What makes this realization so peaceful and wondrous is the sheer scale of time involved. A crow can remember a specific human face, not just for days or weeks, but for many years. A single brief encounter on a quiet afternoon can remain etched into a crow's memory for over a decade. Imagine walking through a forest path you haven't visited in 7 autumns. The trees have grown slightly taller, the earth beneath your feet has shifted, and the seasons have turned many times over. Yet, sitting in the high branches of an old walnut tree, a dark feathered bird looks down at you and remembers. It remembers the afternoon you dropped a small crust of bread near the park bench. It remembers the quiet kindness of your slow movements. It carries that tiny moment of your shared past quietly through the years, safe within the dark folds of its long memory. This capacity to hold on to details is not merely a trick of survival. It is a fundamental part of how crows navigate their lives. Their world is not a chaotic blur of constant noise, but a structured, familiar landscape filled with known individuals, established friendships, and long-standing memories. Every park, every garden, and every stretch of woodland is mapped out in their minds, complete with a detailed catalogue of every human who frequents those spaces. As you lie here listening, imagine the peaceful stillness of that mapped world. Imagine how quiet and orderly the world looks from high up in the branches, where time moves slowly, and every detail is observed with patient, serene attention. The wind softly sways the top branches of the pines, back and forth, creating a long, soothing rhythm that carries your mind further and further into quiet rest. As deep as a single crow's memory may be, the story becomes even more remarkable when we look at how those memories travel across time, passing gently from one generation to the next, like a cherished story told by a fireplace late into the night. In those same facial recognition studies, researchers noticed something that defied traditional understanding of animal behavior. Years after the original encounters took place, young crows, birds that had not even been hatched when the masked researchers first walked through the park, showed the exact same reactions as their parents. When the old mask appeared beneath the canopy, young fledglings that had never seen it before would react with the same calm caution, leaning down from the branches and calling out in harmony with the elders of their flock. How could a young bird, newly emerged from its speckled shell into the warm spring light, know the face of a human it had never met? The answer lies in the deep social fabric of corvid culture. Crows do not live isolated lives. They exist within tight-knit, deeply communicative family groups. Parents, offspring, aunts, and uncles remain connected for years, sharing food, roosting together in the winter cold, and continually teaching one another about the world. When a crow identifies a trusted friend or a potential danger, it does not keep that information to itself. Through a subtle combination of soft vocalizations, body posture, and shared gaze, the elders demonstrate to the young who can be trusted and who should be watched from a distance. It is a form of oral history, written not in books or carved into stone, but carried through shared experiences and subtle social cues. A young crow learns the history of its neighborhood before it even completes its first full year of flight. It inherits an unseen map of the world, a map filled with peaceful sanctuaries, gentle humans, old feeding spots, and historical dangers. You might imagine a family of crows perched together on the broad, moss-covered limb of a grand old maple tree. As the sun begins to set, the evening air is still and cool, carrying the sweet scent of damp pine and fallen leaves. The older birds sit near the center, their feathers slightly puffed against the slight chill of the breeze. Beside them, the younger birds sit quietly, watching every slight movement of their parents' heads. When a familiar figure walks down the gravel path below, the parent bird gives a low, quiet murmur, a soft, comforting sound deep within its throat. The young bird shifts its weight, tilting its head to observe the human below. In that quiet, fleeting moment, a thread of memory is woven. The young bird absorbs the lesson, storing the image of that face into its own growing library of thought. Years from now, long after its parents have drifted into the quiet dusk of old age, that same bird will sit in that same tree, looking down at that same human, keeping the ancient thread unbroken. This passing down of knowledge creates a continuous bridge across time. In some ancient roosts, where tens of thousands of crows gather every evening in the dense pine forests of the Pacific Northwest or the rolling countryside of Europe, these collective memories span decades, perhaps even centuries. The roost itself becomes a repository of wisdom, a giant mind formed by thousands of individual birds, all resting together beneath a quiet canopy of stars. As thousands of dark wings settle into the thick evergreen boughs, a soft, collective whisper rises from the forest. A gentle murmur of rustling feathers, soft settling calls, and the slow rhythmic sigh of the evening wind through the needles. It is a sound that brings deep peace, a collective settling down as the forest prepares for sleep. The weight of the day slips away from the flock, just as it slips away from you now. There is nothing you need to remember tonight. There are no lessons you need to pass along, no maps you need to draw. You can simply let your mind rest in the vast, continuous flow of time, floating like a dark feather, drifting slowly downward through the calm, windless air, down, down, toward total rest. Beyond faces and social histories, there is another realm where the crow's memory shines with a quiet, brilliant focus, the art of caching, or hiding away precious things for the future. In the autumn, when the oak trees drop their heavy harvests of smooth brown acorns, and the fields are rich with seeds, a crow's life takes on a slow, methodical rhythm. A single crow may collect hundreds, even thousands, of tiny items over the course of a few short weeks. It gathers acorns, pine nuts, small shiny pebbles, and bits of food, carrying them carefully in its beak to secret hiding spots scattered across miles of countryside. To hide something in a vast, changing forest is easy. But to find it again, months later, under a thick blanket of pale, cold snow, that requires a memory of astonishing precision. A crow does not simply bury an acorn at random and hope to stumble upon it later by chance. Instead, it creates a precise geometric map in its mind. It notices the relative distance between a specific fallen log, the curve of a nearby root, and the angle of a shadow cast by a tall birch tree. It buries the seeds softly beneath the damp earth, carefully covering the spot with a dry leaf or a tuft of moss until the hiding place looks completely untouched to any passing eye. Months go by, the autumn leaves decay into the dark soil. Winter arrives, covering the forest in a heavy, quiet mantle of white. The landscape transforms completely. The landmarks are hidden, the shadows have changed, and the familiar sights of autumn are buried beneath inches of soft, powdery snow. Yet, when hunger calls in the lean, quiet days of midwinter, the crow swoops down from the pale gray sky. It lights upon a pristine, unbroken field of snow that looks identical in every direction. Without hesitation, it walks a few slow paces, tilts its head, and dips its beak precisely into the snow, unearthing the exact acorn it hid 3 months prior. Scientists who study spatial memory in corvids have found that these birds possess an extraordinarily developed hippocampus, the region of the brain dedicated to spatial navigation and memory storage. It expands and grows denser during the autumn months, preparing the bird for the complex mental work of mapping its world. It is as if the bird's mind expands with the season, swelling with quiet space to accommodate every hidden treasure. There is something deeply comforting about this patient relationship with time. The crow hides a seed not for immediate satisfaction, but with a calm, unwavering trust in tomorrow. It places a small piece of its life into the safekeeping of the earth, confident that its mind will remember where it reposes when the cold wind blows. You might imagine yourself walking through a quiet, snow-draped forest late in the afternoon. The air is crisp, clear, and perfectly still. Every sound is cushioned by the heavy snow, the soft snap of a twig, the quiet murmur of a frozen stream beneath the ice. High above, suspended in the pale air, a crow flies effortlessly, its long black wings beating in a slow, rhythmic cadence, up and down, slow and steady. It glides silently toward a high branch, perching with ease. It looks out over the white landscape, calm and completely at peace. It knows where everything is hidden. It knows that beneath the cold, silent surface of the snow, life is safely preserved, waiting quietly for the right time to awaken. As you listen to the steady rhythm of this story, you can feel a similar sense of security settling over you. Everything you have done today, every thought you have carried, can be set down now. Like an acorn buried safely beneath the winter leaf litter, your thoughts can rest quietly in the dark, warm earth of your subconscious. You do not need to hold on to them tonight. You can let them be preserved safely while you drift into the quiet, snow-covered stillness of deep sleep. To remember where things are hidden is a wondrous feat, but the mind of a corvid goes much further. It does not merely recall the physical world as it is. It remembers how the world can be changed, shaped, and adapted to solve complex problems. In the remote, lush forests of New Caledonia, a quiet island surrounded by the vast, azure waters of the South Pacific, lives a particular species of corvid known as the New Caledonian crow. These birds have taken the relationship between memory, planning, and creation to a level that leaves observers in quiet awe. Imagine sitting on a warm, damp forest floor, surrounded by thick green ferns and ancient towering trees. The air smells of rich earth, rain, and wild blossoms. High in the canopy, a crow is searching for a specific type of leaf, the long, tough, serrated leaf of the pandanus plant. The bird does not select a leaf at random. It inspects several, feeling their texture and testing their strength with its beak. Once it finds the perfect leaf, it begins a slow, deliberate process of crafting. Using its sharp beak like a pair of precision shears, the crow cuts into the edge of the leaf, ripping a tiny strip, then stepping up to make another precise cut, and another, slowly fashioning a tapered, step-shaped tool with small, barbed hooks along its edge. This is not a simple, primitive action. It is an art form that requires a detailed mental blueprint. Before the bird even touches the leaf, it must hold a clear, complex image of the finished tool within its memory. It must remember the exact shape that worked well in the past, the precise sequence of cuts required to create it, and the specific way it will use the tool once it is complete. When the tool is finished, the crow carries it carefully to a nearby tree trunk, inserting the barbed leaf into narrow crevices in the bark to extract tiny hidden grubs. If the tool works well, the bird does not simply discard it when it is finished eating. It remembers the value of what it has created. It will carry the tool with it as it flies from tree to tree, or carefully tuck it into a safe, dry hollow in the bark to use again later. Even more amazingly, researchers have observed that different groups of crows on different parts of the island manufacture slightly different styles of leaf tools. Some craft wide, sturdy tools, while others make narrow, delicate ones. These design variations have been maintained across different regions for decades. This means that young crows are not just born with an abstract desire to poke at trees. They observe the specific tool-making traditions of their local family, remember those subtle designs, and preserve those regional crafting styles through time. It is a quiet form of technology, an ancient, gentle culture, passed down through memory and patience beneath the sunlit leaves of a tropical forest. When we consider this, the boundary that we so often draw between human thought and the rest of the natural world begins to soften and dissolve. We see that long before human beings wrote down their first plans or crafted their first stone tools, tiny minds were already at work in the primeval forests, remembering, planning, designing, and carrying their silent knowledge through the ages. Think of the patience required for such a task, the slow, focused concentration, the quiet stillness of a mind that is entirely present in its work, unhurried by the passage of time. You can bring that same slow, gentle focus into your own body right now. Let go of any urgency. Let go of any lingering desire to solve or create or fix. Your mind has done enough work for today. Just as the crow tucks its favorite tool safely into a dark hollow in the bark and settles down as the afternoon warmth fades, you too can lay down all your mental tasks. Let your mind become as smooth and still as a forest pond at twilight, untouched by the wind. As the last golden embers of sunset melt into the cool indigo of evening, the forest transitions into a profound, velvety stillness. The air grows colder, crisp and clean, carrying the faint scent of damp earth, fallen pine needles, and distant wood smoke drifting over the hills. High in the canopy, tucked securely against the sturdy trunk of an old evergreen, a solitary crow settles down for the night. It draws one leg up into its soft, downy belly feathers, turning its head back to tuck its beak beneath its wing. To an observer standing below in the darkening woods, the bird appears completely asleep, motionless, silent, wrapped in the dark solitude of the night. But within the silent chambers of the crow's brain, an extraordinary, quiet symphony is taking place. For many years, scientists believed that deep sleep was a passive state, a simple shutting down of the mind, like turning off a lantern at the end of a long day. But recent studies in avian neuroscience have revealed something far more beautiful. When a crow sleeps, its brain undergoes distinct cycles of dreamlike states, remarkably similar to our own rapid eye movement, REM, sleep. During these deep night cycles, the neurons within the avian brain, specifically in a dense, highly interconnected region called the nidopallium, begin to fire in slow, rhythmic patterns. It is as if the crow is replaying the entire day in slow motion, in some quiet, unseen realm of consciousness. The bird is flying once again through the cool morning air. It is looking down upon the winding dirt track, seeing the face of the friendly farmer who dropped a handful of grain by the red barn. It is recalculating the distance to a hidden acorn tucked beneath a patch of wet moss. It is feeling the precise resistance of the wind against its left wing feathers as it soared above the misty valley. This nocturnal replay is the subtle magic of memory consolidation. The chaotic stream of sensory experiences gathered during the bright, busy hours of the day is gently organized, sorted, and woven into the deep, permanent archives of the brain. The brain cleanses itself, washing away the fleeting, unimportant details, the random movement of a falling leaf, the noise of a passing breeze, while firing and strengthening the neural connections that store the faces, the places, the tools, and the lessons of survival. You might imagine what it feels like to dream as a creature of the sky, to feel weightless, floating effortlessly through an endless expanse of pale blue twilight, sweeping low over mirror-still lakes that reflect the silver light of the moon. The mind of the crow drifts through landscapes of pure memory, where time expands and contracts without any rush, without any tension. As you sit or lie here in the peaceful quiet of your own space, your mind is doing very much the same thing. The day behind you is fading. The thoughts, the visual details, the conversations, and the light of the sun are all quietly receding into the background. Your brain, too, is preparing to take the experiences of your day and gently tuck them away into safety, sifting through them with quiet care so that you can rest entirely. There is nothing left for you to process tonight. No maps to study, no memories to organize. Like the bird resting high in the sheltering pine, you can simply let your body sink deeper into the soft support beneath you, breathing slowly, letting each exhale carry away a tiny bit more of the day's weight, drifting deeper and deeper into the gentle darkness. In the quiet light of a cool morning, when the mist lingers like soft smoke above the damp grass, a crow finds a particularly prized treasure. Perhaps it is a piece of sweet fruit or a rich, oil-filled nut. The bird holds the treasure firmly in its beak, standing still for a long moment, listening to the forest. Before it decides where to hide this precious finding, the crow does something truly extraordinary. It turns its head slowly, scanning not just the landscape, but the eyes of every other bird nearby. If the crow notices another corvid perched on a fence post 100 yards away, watching with keen, interested eyes, the hiding bird will change its strategy entirely. It will not bury its treasure in front of an audience. Instead, it will engage in a quiet masterclass of misdirection. It walks casually behind a thick clump of tall grass or a fallen log, out of the direct line of sight of its rival. It presses its beak into the soft dirt, making all the motions of burying the food. It covers the empty spot with leaves and twigs, meticulously smoothing down the earth until it looks perfectly hidden. Then, with its prize still tucked safely inside its throat pouch, it flies away to a completely different, secret location, half a mile away, where no eyes are watching. This behavior reveals a cognitive ability that was once thought to belong exclusively to human beings and a small handful of great apes. A psychological concept known as theory of mind. Theory of mind is the ability to attribute mental states, beliefs, intents, desires, emotions, and knowledge to oneself and others. It means that the crow does not merely see another bird as an object in the environment. The crow understands that that other bird has a mind of its own. The crow understands that the other bird can see, that the other bird can remember, and that the other bird might plan to steal the hidden food later. To outsmart a rival, the crow must perform a complex mental calculation. It must think, he sees me, he knows where I am looking. If I put this food here, he will remember this spot, and when I leave, he will take it. Therefore, I must create a false memory in his mind, while keeping the true location secret in my own. It is almost as if the crow plays chess in 3 dimensions across the open fields and woodland edges. It holds 2 different versions of reality in its mind at the same time: the true reality of where the food actually is, and the false reality that it has carefully constructed for the watching eyes of its neighbor. What makes this even more fascinating is that crows that have never stolen food from others are much less likely to use these deceptive tactics. It is usually the crows that have themselves been thieves in the past that assume others will try to steal from them. Their own personal memories of trickery shape how they anticipate the behavior of those around them. Think of the immense quiet intelligence required to navigate such a world not of simple reactions, but of subtle social awareness, strategic patience, and deep, reflective thought. You can imagine standing at the edge of a quiet meadow, watching 2 crows perched high in the limbs of a bare winter oak. They sit silently, framed against a pale, pearl-gray sky. There is no tension between them, no noise, no conflict, just a long, shared understanding, an unspoken dialogue carried through subtle tilts of the head, gentle shifts in weight, and the quiet observation of the world beneath them. The breeze softly stirs the high branches, creating a slow, rhythmic sway, back and forth, back and forth. The world moves at its own unhurried pace, and in this space, there is nothing you need to anticipate. You do not need to outthink anyone or plan your next move. You can surrender the need to calculate, the need to manage, the need to protect. You can simply exist, calm and invisible, wrapped in the protective comfort of the quiet night. As the late afternoon light turns to gold and the shadows stretch long and thin across the countryside, a remarkable event begins to take place across the landscape. From miles in every direction, small groups of crows begin to lift off from their daytime feeding grounds. They do not fly in wild, frantic rushes. They move in steady, rhythmic lines, drifting gently through the cooling air like dark leaves swept along by a smooth river current. They are heading toward a shared destination, a massive winter roost. In certain parts of the world, these roosts have existed in the exact same stands of old-growth trees for generations. Tens of thousands, sometimes hundreds of thousands, of crows gather in a single forest valley as darkness falls. To stand near the edge of a great corvid roost at dusk is to witness one of nature's most peaceful and sublime spectacles. As the birds arrive, they first assemble in what scientists call staging areas, neighboring fields, tall rooftops, or the upper branches of dead trees near the primary roost. Here, they sit together in the dimming light, preening their feathers, making soft, varied vocalizations, and settling the energy of the day. The sounds of a gathering roost are not harsh or aggressive when heard from a quiet distance. They form a vast, rolling ocean of sound, a continuous, hypnotic murmur that rises and falls like the sound of surf breaking against a distant shore. Within this ocean of sound, a deep language is being spoken. Crows do not simply make noise. They possess a complex array of vocalizations, ranging from deep, resonant caws to soft clicking sounds, gentle rattles, and liquid musical notes that sound almost like bubbling water. Even more remarkably, researchers have discovered that different roosts and regions possess distinct dialects. A crow from the coastal pine forests speaks with a slightly different cadence and pitch than a crow from the inland river valleys. These vocal traditions are remembered and maintained by the flock, taught to young birds as they sit alongside their elders during these long evening gatherings. Why do so many thousands of birds gather in one place every night? The roost serves many subtle purposes. It offers safety in numbers against nocturnal predators, like the great horned owl. It provides thermal warmth, as thousands of warm bodies clustered together in the dense evergreen boughs raise the ambient temperature within the canopy by several degrees against the freezing winter night. But perhaps most beautifully, the roost acts as an information center built on collective memory. In the quiet morning that follows, birds that were unsuccessful in finding food the previous day will watch the strong, decisive flight paths of well-fed elders as they depart the roost. By remembering who flew where, and by following those experienced guides out into the morning mist, the younger or less fortunate birds are guided directly to abundant feeding grounds miles away. The roost is a living library, a vast network of shared experience where no individual has to face the winter alone. Imagine the sky now, darkening to a deep, velvety navy. The last light of the sun is a thin, rose-colored line along the distant horizon. High above, the last returning crows glide effortlessly into the dark foliage of the ancient pines. The heavy branches dip gently under their light weight, swaying softly in the night wind. Gradually, the rolling ocean of vocalizations begins to quiet down. The soft rattles fade. The quiet clicks slow down. One by one, the dark silhouettes tuck their heads beneath their wings. A profound silence settles over the forest, a silence made richer by the thousands of quiet lives resting together in the dark. Feel that deep, collective calm entering your own space now. You are part of a vast, quiet world that knows how to rest when the light fades. You can let the soft murmur of the evening sink into your consciousness, wrapping you in warmth and absolute security. The day is fully over, the roost is quiet, the forest is asleep. While much of a crow's remarkable memory is dedicated to the serious work of finding food and staying safe, there is another, deeply charming side to their intelligence, a side that reveals a mind capable of pure play, curiosity, and joy. For a long time, traditional biology assumed that animals only engaged in behaviors that directly served immediate survival. Anything that consumed energy without yielding food or protection was considered an anomaly. But anyone who has spent a quiet afternoon watching crows on a windy day knows that this view is far too narrow. Crows love to play, and their play is intimately tied to their spatial memory and profound understanding of the physical world. On cold winter days, in regions where steep, snow-covered roofs line the streets, crows have been observed engaging in an activity that looks unmistakably like sledding. A crow will find a smooth plastic lid, a jar cap, or even a flat piece of tree bark. It will carry the object to the very peak of a slick, snow-draped roof, Set it down carefully on the incline, step onto it with both feet, and slide all the way down to the gutter. When it reaches the bottom, it doesn't fly away to search for food. It picks up the lid in its beak, turns around, hops and flaps its way back up to the peak of the roof, and does it all over again. In other places, where strong winter gales blow over coastal cliffs or high mountain ridges, crows gather simply to ride the wind. They lift off into the violent updrafts, performing daring aerial maneuvers, flipping upside down for a split second, tucking their wings to drop like stone through 1,000 feet of empty air, only to open their broad black wings at the very last moment, catching the dense air and soaring effortlessly back into the clouds. To play in the wind requires a precise physical memory of aerodynamics. The crow remembers the exact shape of the thermal currents around a specific cliff edge. It remembers how much pressure its primary feathers can bear, how the wind shifts as it moves around the contour of a hill, and how to use the invisible forces of nature to achieve a feeling of total weightlessness. This capacity for play is one of the clearest signs of high intelligence. It shows a mind that has mastered its environment so thoroughly that it has time and mental space left over for wonder, for experimentation, for pure lightness of being. You might picture a solitary crow dancing in the winter sky right now. The air is cold, clear, and bright. Below, the earth is a soft tapestry of white fields and dark, leafless trees. The crow reaches the top of a rising air current, hovering for a moment in complete suspension. For one peaceful second, it is perfectly still against the blue sky, neither rising nor falling, balanced completely upon the invisible hands of the wind. Then, with a gentle tilt of its tail feathers, it glides smoothly downward in a long, elegant arc, effortlessly tracing the gentle curves of the sky. There is no effort in its flight, no strain, no tension, no rush. It moves with the air, trusting the sky completely to hold it up. You can feel that same weightlessness within your own body now. Imagine letting go of all the gravity of your daily life. Feel your limbs growing light and warm, resting effortlessly on your bed, as if you were floating softly on a calm, gentle current of air. You don't need to hold yourself up. You don't need to push against anything. You can simply yield to the soft support beneath you, letting yourself glide smoothly down, into the quiet, peaceful depths of sleep. There is a side to corvid memory that touches upon something deeply soft and gentle, a quiet bridge built not on fear or survival, but on simple, lingering gratitude. While much of our exploration has focused on how crows remember threats or navigate complex environments, their capacity to remember acts of human kindness reveals a warmth that feels almost poetic. Across many quiet neighborhoods around the world, individuals who regularly offer food or water to local crows begin to notice something unusual appearing on their windowsills, garden tables, or porch steps. It starts with tiny, unexpected objects left behind in the exact spot where seeds or nuts were placed earlier that morning. A smooth piece of sea glass, worn frosted and blue by the ocean waves. A silver foil wrapper, carefully folded into a tiny square. A brightly colored plastic button. A polished pebble from a riverbed miles away. A single, gleaming copper washer. These are not accidents, nor are they random debris dropped by chance. They are deliberate offerings, gifts, carried through the air by a creature that remembers who brought it peace. When a human establishes a gentle, predictable routine, stepping out onto a patio at the same quiet hour every afternoon, moving slowly, dropping a few shelled walnuts onto the mossy stone. The local crows take careful note. They store the image of that person's face, the tone of their voice, and the calm rhythm of their presence deep within their memory. Over time, as the bond of trust quietly deepens, the crow's perception of that human shifts. You are no longer just another large, unpredictable shape moving through the landscape. You become a recognized friend, a reliable sanctuary in a complex world. Scientists who study animal behavior refer to this as a form of reciprocal altruism or social bonding. But when described in the soft light of evening, it feels like something much simpler and more profound, a quiet exchange of quiet gestures between two entirely different forms of life. Imagine sitting by a sunlit window on a crisp spring morning. A hot cup of tea rests in your hands, sending a thin curl of steam into the still air. Outside, resting on the wooden railing of your garden deck, sits a large crow. Its dark plumage catches the warm sunlight, revealing hidden hues of sapphire and oil-slick purple. It does not tilt its head in alarm. It does not tense its wings to fly away. It sits comfortably in your presence, its dark eyes soft and calm. With a gentle tilt of its beak, it sets down a tiny, polished piece of green bottle glass on the wood. It looks at you for a quiet moment, a shared second of complete stillness, before stepping back and taking off into the pale blue morning air, leaving its small treasure behind. That tiny piece of green glass carries a remarkable story. To find it, the crow had to notice it amidst the grey gravel of a creek bed. It had to pick it up, recognize its unique luster, hold it in its throat pouch, fly across miles of rooftops, and remember precisely where the person lived who had offered it food 3 winter mornings ago. It is a tangible memory, a physical token of a moment when two different minds crossed the boundary of species to share a gentle connection. As you reflect on these quiet gifts, feel a sense of warmth settling around your heart. The world is not a cold or lonely place. It is filled with unseen threads of connection, quiet memories of kindness, and gentle gestures that pass unnoticed by the rest of the world. You do not need to seek out these connections tonight. You can simply hold the comforting thought that kindness, once given, lingers far longer than we might ever know, floating softly through the memories of those whose lives we have touched. If you were to look down upon the earth from a mile above, the world would look like a vast, interconnected tapestry of green forests, silver rivers, dark roads, and sprawling towns. To human eyes, navigating such a landscape requires maps, compasses, and digital lines drawn across screens. But to a crow flying through the high, cool currents of the atmosphere, the map is already painted vividly within its mind. Crows possess an extraordinary form of spatial memory, known as cognitive mapping. They do not merely remember individual locations, like a single nest tree or a favorite garden. They hold an integrated, three-dimensional model of an entire region in their heads. A single crow's territory may span dozens of square miles. Within that territory, every feature of the landscape is assigned a specific mental coordinate, updated continuously across the seasons. A crow flying at twilight knows the precise height of every tall pine tree along a ridge. It knows which valley holds onto the morning fog the longest, keeping the earth damp and cool. It knows which farm fields are plowed first in the spring, exposing rich soil, and which oak groves produce the heaviest yield of acorns when autumn arrives. Even more remarkably, this aerial cartography includes a detailed map of time. Crows understand time-place learning with astonishing accuracy. They remember not just where food or shelter can be found, but when. They know that a specific schoolyard becomes quiet and rich with discarded crusts at precisely 3 o'clock in the afternoon. They know that a particular fishing boat returns to the harbor as the sun touches the hills, leaving small treats behind on the wooden docks. They align their daily flight paths with these temporal rhythms, drifting effortlessly from one point on their mental map to the next, precisely when the conditions are best. To maintain such a complex map requires a constant, quiet processing of sensory information. Crows use a combination of visual landmarks, the position of the sun, the prevailing wind patterns over terrain, and even subtle variations in the Earth's magnetic field to orient themselves in space. Imagine what it must feel like to possess such a map, to drift through the wide open air with complete and absolute confidence in where you are. You are floating high above a calm, winding river late in the afternoon. Below you, the water gleams like a liquid ribbon of silver, reflecting the pale pinks and golds of the setting sun. The cool breeze flows smoothly over your wings, requiring no effort at all to keep you aloft. Looking out across the landscape, every hill, every grove of trees, and every quiet clearing feels like a familiar room in a home you have known forever. There are no wrong turns here. There is no possibility of getting lost. The sky is open, safe, and completely known. As you lie here now, enveloped in the quiet darkness of your room, you can allow your own mind to adopt that same peaceful sense of orientation. You do not need to worry about where you are going tomorrow or how you will navigate the days ahead. Your life too has its own quiet rhythms, its own familiar landmarks, its own safe places to land. You can let go of the map now. You can close your eyes and let the landscape below fade into a soft, indistinct blur of deep blues and purples. You are safe where you are. The air is calm. The journey is complete, and you can drift effortlessly into total stillness. As we travel deeper into the science of memory, we arrive at a frontier that feels almost mysterious in its depth, a realm where memory leaves the boundaries of the brain entirely and writes itself directly into the physical biology of life. For generations, scientists believed that memories were strictly mental constructs, fleeting patterns of electrical activity held within the complex networks of brain cells. We assumed that when a living creature learned something about the world, that knowledge remained confined within its own single lifespan, unable to physically alter the genetic code passed down to its children. But the study of corvid biology, combined with the emerging field of epigenetics, has revealed a truth that is far more subtle and profound. Epigenetics is the study of how behaviors and environment can cause changes that affect the way genes work, without altering the underlying DNA sequence itself. It is like a set of quiet, molecular bookmarks inserted into the vast instruction manual of life, marking certain pages to be read more clearly or dimming others into the background. When a crow experiences an intense event, such as a persistent threat in a specific woods or a prolonged period of severe winter hardship, its body produces stress hormones and neurochemical signals that do not merely fade away when the event ends. These chemical signals can attach small molecular tags, known as methyl groups, to the DNA within the bird's reproductive cells. These tiny biological tags act as soft whispers across time, When the next generation of crows is born, they inherit not only the physical shape of their parents' wings and the dark sheen of their feathers, but also a pre-calibrated nervous system. A young fledgling, stepping out onto a branch for the very first time, may be born with a heightened sensitivity to certain sounds, a natural caution towards specific environments, or an innate resilience against cold weather. The memory of the parent has become a biological instinct in the child. It is an unbroken chain of living wisdom, an ancient song passed down through the bloodline, allowing each generation to begin life a little wiser, a little calmer, and better prepared for the world than the one before. When you look at a crow sitting quietly in the high branches of an ancient forest, you are not just looking at a single bird that has lived for a few seasons. You are looking at the culmination of thousands of years of lived experience, a living vessel carrying the quiet, accumulated memories of 1,000,000 quiet evenings, 1,000,000 cold winters, and 1,000,000 successful flights through the storm. Think of how comforting it is to realize that wisdom is never truly lost. It settles into the very framework of nature, preserved quietly within the dark feathers, the strong wings, and the calm bloodlines of the earth. You can feel a similar sense of ancient, grounded calm within your own body right now. You carry within you the quiet strength of countless generations who came before you, who rested beneath these same stars, who watched the same moon rise, and who found peace in the quiet night. Their resilience lives in your breath. Their calm lives in your bones. You do not need to strive or push. You can simply lean back into that deep, historical current of life, trusting that you are supported by something far larger, far older, and far more peaceful than the worries of a single day. In the deepest, quietest corners of animal cognition lies a question that has fascinated thinkers, philosophers, and scientists for centuries. Does a bird know that it exists? Does it possess a quiet inner mirror, a sense of self that sits silently behind its dark eyes, looking out at the world and knowing that it is I? To explore this question, researchers often use a simple, elegant test known as the mirror self-recognition test. A small, odorless mark is placed on a bird's feathers, in a location it can only see by looking into a reflective surface, such as beneath its beak or on its throat. When most animals look into a mirror, they react as if they are seeing another individual. They may perform threat displays, try to play with the reflection, or simply ignore it altogether. But when corvids are placed near a quiet, polished surface, something very different happens over time. At first, a crow may look at its reflection with mild curiosity, testing the movement by tilting its head slowly from side to side. It notices that the dark bird in the glass moves at the exact same instant, with the exact same rhythm. It reaches behind the mirror with its beak, checking to see if another bird is standing on the other side. When it finds nothing behind the glass, the crow pauses. A slow realization settles into its mind. It stops looking at the mirror as an external object and begins to use the mirror as a tool to inspect its own body. It turns its head to examine the mark on its throat. It may use its foot or beak to touch the spot on its own feathers, recognizing that the shape in the reflection is not a stranger, but itself. This subtle shift in perspective represents one of the highest peaks of cognitive awareness. It means that the crow possesses an internal mental model of its own identity. It understands that it is a distinct, solitary entity moving through a wide world, an observer capable of reflection, choice, and quiet awareness. Imagine what that inner world must feel like. It is not filled with a constant stream of noisy, anxious words like human thought often is. It is a quiet, visual, sensory landscape, a tranquil stream of images, spatial feelings, remembered wind currents, and calm observations. A mind that sits quietly within the shelter of its dark feathers, watching the clouds move across the sky, completely at peace with its own existence. You can find that same quiet mirror within yourself right now, behind all the thoughts of your day, behind all the tasks you completed, behind the names, the roles, and the endless words. There is a quiet, peaceful observer inside you, a calm presence that simply watches, breathing slowly, listening to the soft rhythm of this story, completely untouched by the noise of the world outside. You don't need to be anything tonight. You don't need to define yourself, or fix yourself, or plan your future. You can simply step back into that quiet inner room, the calm space behind your thoughts, where everything is still, where everything is clear, and where nothing can disturb your rest. The mirror is still. The water is smooth as glass. The night has settled completely over the world. And so, as our journey through the deep, quiet mind of the crow comes to its natural close, the sky above turns an unbroken, velvety navy. The last light of day has completely dissolved behind the distant, silent hills. High in the sheltering branches of the ancient evergreen forest, the final whispers of the flock have settled into absolute quiet. Tens of thousands of dark wings are tucked securely against warm bodies. Thousands of gentle minds are floating peacefully into their own silent dreams, gliding through vast, sunlit skies of pure memory. The stories of the day are safely stored away now, buried deep within the soft, dark soil of time, like acorns resting under a fresh blanket of winter snow. There is nothing more you need to process tonight. There are no more maps to trace, no more lessons to hold, no more faces to remember. Feel the cool, crisp stillness of the night, wrapping around your space like a soft, protective cloak. The forest is quiet. The birds are asleep. The air is still. Let your breathing become as slow, steady, and effortless as the gentle sway of a tall pine tree in an evening breeze. Inhale softly and deeply, feeling the gentle rise of your chest, and exhale slowly, letting every remaining thought drift away like a dark feather on the wind. Sink deeper now into the warm support beneath you. Feel your hands growing heavy, your shoulders dropping completely, your eyelids growing comfortably, sweetly heavy. The world outside is vast, calm, and completely safe. It will continue its quiet turning without any effort from you. Everything is in its right place. Everything is at rest, floating softly on a warm, silent river of calm, drifting down, through the dark, peaceful sky, into deep, unbroken, restorative sleep. Thank you for drifting with us tonight on the Drift Science channel. Sleep well. Good night.